What's going on, guys? So today on this 00CTOBER review, we're going to be talking about the next version of the Exia that we have. Now, we don't have the Repair 1, but we have the Repair 2. Technically speaking, we looked at the Repair 1 a couple years ago with the Ignition Mode MG, where he's got the whole sash on the shoulder, you know, Terminator eye and all that. This is the Repair 2 that was seen at the very end of Season 2 after the 00 was out of commission. So they had repaired it, updated it with some better technology from the next generation, and gave it some better weaponry. And of course, you got a great image here of the final fight. So you've got the GN drive open and in full thrust or burst mode. You have an extra beam saber clash happening here. Now, if you have the GUNDAM ACD box, it'll match up right there. So they actually made a set of boxes that would do that. Mine is somewhere. I looked for it. I think it's in storage, unfortunately, so I can't do that. I apologize. I'll bring up an image if I can remember to find it. But it's a beautiful image here of the Exia. The artwork got so much better over time, it's kind of ridiculous. So this one is from 2009, and the artwork is still by Morishita Naochika. Now, this was a re-release, if I remember correctly, so the Bandai logo is blue, so it actually says Bandai Spirits. It says Bandai Spirits down here, so even though they replicate everything from the original box art, they updated it to say that. So, like I said, I ordered this in a re-release. Of course, 00 logo there, HG 00 logo up there. So you've got all the differences lined out kind of right there. You got GN drive, you got open hand thingy, you've got a GN bursty thingy, you've got something happens there. New stuff is good. GN sword, that is the new version of the GN sword. Mode change, sure. Beam saber thingy, swivel at the hips, I guess is what that is. And then HG Repair 2, clear stuff, hips and knees, and goes on stand. Now I got number 44 in the line, GUNDAM EXIA Repair 2, Bandai logo there. No BandaiHobby.net, despite the fact this is a new box. They just didn't bother updating all that. They just updated the logo and stuff. Now there you've got the obligatory front shot there. Not a whole lot changes except for the weapon list. Got a lot shorter. Read up there on why there's a new Exia. You've got Exia there. You've got second season Setsuna. You got, hey, 3-year-olds don't like Repair 2s in their eyes, and I can't find the focus. Bandai Spirits, Bandai LTD, all that crap. And then little guy with the toilet, all the different plastics. And then 1200 yen, nice affordable kit. Still upside down, even though it's a new version of the Exia. Or updated Exia, so to speak. And yes, guys, I am doing these Exia reviews concurrently, or consecutively, kind of, however you want to look at it. So, this way we can do comparisons. Yay for comparisons. So, let's go ahead and get to it. Alright guys, so here we have Exia out and ready for the turntable. So we're going to hit the switch. Alright, so this version of Exia does have a lot of the same features and a lot of the same parts. However, he does come with a laundry list of new parts. We've got a brand new GN drive back here. This is actually the kind of open burst mode part. All new butt skirts. A couple different parts here on the legs. All new shoulder armor. Some new details going on up here in the chest. I'll talk about that in a bit. New hip things. New thigh parts. So, I mean, he's got quite a lot of new stuff happening. Now, I'll let him keep running on the turntable, but I'm going to pull out some runners and stuff here. So, you can see here, still have the leftover shoulder parts from the original. And that's pretty much it on that runner. Oh, I guess you have the sword parts here because you're not using those GN swords. Speaking of swords you don't use, you don't need that blade because you're not going to need that. And you don't need this version of the torso or the skirt or side skirt weapon holders. And then last but not least, a whole lot of stuff on the White Runner. The original thighs, the original calves and shins, the original butt skirt. You don't even use the beam sabers, or at least two of them. You still got the hinges for the beam sabers. You got the forearms, which I forgot are actually different. And you don't use these GN swords at all. And something I forgot on the previous one that I'm sure people were commenting on, the beam saber that's activated. So he does not come with beam blades. I was dumb. He comes with this version, which you would have to paint the blade with a light pink or metallic red. So that's that. Now, I'm going to do the comparison right away. Alright, so here on the left, we have the original Exia that I've built and is not very modified, and you have the one on the right here, which is the R2, and I just knocked that off so I can show off the differences side by side, hopefully. So there's a couple of differences. The head doesn't change. The fins on the chest, they don't change. Most of the chest, in fact, doesn't really change at all. Now you'll notice there's a little bit of difference here. This area right here on this vent is painted and it's like it should be. I don't believe that one is supposed to be that way, so I think that's a minor upgrade they did to this one, just making it look better. You can see the shoulders are different, although similar, and you do lose the power ribbons, though you still have the holes for them on the part down here. And just showing it off on the back, you lose the beam saber holder, so now you get like extra what look like vents or thrusters. And here you can see the main difference between the regular closed GN drive and the open one here. Now it does come with a gray piece. I just added some chrome paint to the middle of it, and then I painted all the gray for the little claws. And you can swap it out. I'll just talk about it real quick. Normally I don't skip ahead on the accessories, but you can pull that off, and you can just put on standard GN drive, which is essentially the exact same thing as that. But you can see I just painted the gray on there, but for the most part, the neighbors are making a buttload of noise. Okay, I can't pull that off that easily. It's kind of hard to grab something conical. Moving down, you can see that I did a little bit of paint work inside here on the torso, but also you lose the ribbons here on the inside. So the purple and gray parts there are totally gone, so that's a difference in the torso bit. The front skirts are the same, except for the fact that I did not use stickers here. I did paint that. Now that is done with just a Gundam marker paint. I will get the color for you for everybody's asking. It's not my normal favorite of Dark Gray ever, although it came out fairly dark, though it was supposed to be a much lighter gray. It works pretty well. Now the side skirt holder thingies are now gone for holding the GN swords, and now he's just holding his beam sabers there, which I can appreciate. Except for the fact I knocked him off. The other one is actually just laying over here, so it's not gone. I just forgot it. And you can see a big difference in the butt skirt. Got a little bit more in the way of thrusters, I guess, and got rid of the excess beam sabers once again. Now, one thing I didn't notice before, you do get extra thrusters down here on the backs of the legs. The sides of the legs are essentially unchanged, except for paint here, sticker here. And the front of the shins, where you had the power ribbon before, is now a painted piece there, or it has to be painted. I think it might have come with stickers. If it does, I can't see it offhand. The other thing is the thighs are totally different, and I believe that makes the hips very different, or at least the way the thighs rotate. Feet, exactly the same. So, no major difference there. Now, the articulation and stuff is going to be the same, so we're not even going to bother looking at that, but we will go ahead and compare weapons and such. So the shield is actually pretty much unchanged, though the only difference is I painted the extra part inside there to make it look a little bit better. That is a design deal, so it should be gray underneath there. So otherwise identical in every way. The mount the same, nothing has changed in any of that aspect. I'm trying to figure out what changed with the forearms. I think it's just the elbow pads. Yeah, the little elbow pads. Okay. I was gonna say, I was like, I don't remember what changed here. Honestly, this is the first time I've really gotten to look at the R2 next to the original. Now I built them one right after the other. Like I built this one, same day I started building this one. So there's that. Okay, so we already looked at other stuff. So realistically, I mean, he does come with the same extra hand. So the only other difference here is his GN sword. which is changed up with this new version with a more GN blade. With the cool green stuff, which we've seen before on the, who is that? The Amazing Exia, or even the Dark Matter Exia, uses these parts. And I could have sworn there was something else that uses these weapons. Something we looked at last year. I can't remember off the top of my head. But you can see essentially the same thing. This part is identical except for I painted that, whereas you remember I said I didn't paint that. And to make room for the fact that this blade is extra thick, this part here is different. So the little guard part, this is much thicker. If you try to use this, it will not work. I know, because I tried. And I'm a dummy. It's like, realistically, I tried hard. I'm like, why won't this work? And then I realized there was a different part. I'm like, oh. Because I was building from memory. I built the weapons kind of first. Because these are older HG kits, they kind of tell you to build the weapons right after building the torso and the head. Or at least some of the weapons, so to speak. So I was building from, like, almost immediate memory. So I was like, why won't this work? This is exactly the same. Oh, it's thicker. Now, mind you, you can build it that way. It just won't fold. And then, once again, we run into the problem of this part not wanting to be there. I don't know why they didn't just mold all of that solid. It makes no difference in the thing. It doesn't pivot, but it makes it want to. And that really annoys the crap out of me, if I'm honest with you guys. So I would suggest, honestly, to you guys, to glue that little part of that little blaster together. So here we have the two Exias side by side. And I like the repair a little bit better. I don't know, something about it. I think, I could be wrong. Maybe they trimmed down the shoulders just a little. Something looks a little bit smaller. I mean, I could be wrong. They look almost the same. Now, I know there's just a little bit of difference between the extra stuff there and they got rid of the bits there. But the repair does look smaller. I mean, am I crazy? I mean, is it just these parts that make it look more flared out? I don't know. No, yeah. Now there is a difference in the part that the GN drive plugs into. I forgot about that. That's even though it looks almost identical, it is a different part. If I remember correctly, there was a whole different part to use because you kind of have to compensate for this guy. Which this is a neat, really neat addition, and I dig that. Plus, having that allows me to pull this GN drive off and use it for something else and give this GN drive to Rodimus with his custom. So having spare GN drives is good. Plus, I've got extra GN weapons because of the ones this guy doesn't use. So there's that. And, well, we got to do it because of what this is. Take regular Exia out of here and bring out the GUNDAM ACD type. Now, mind you, I don't have the GN drive on him because I don't... It's like, I guess I could have pulled it out of his box, but... So, the final battle, you've got ribbons in this Gundam, and you've got Setsuna in this Gundam, and they are going to finish each other off. And there was the kind of poetic moment of the GN drives that make up 00 having to fight each other, you know, that kind of thing. It looks cool, don't get me wrong. The Gundam was actually not a bad kit at all. I definitely still recommend that one. But it's neat to have these two together finally, because, you know, I've been passing up the HG for years because I had the MG and now the PG, so now I'm working my way around. Oh, by the way, I did paint these little bits up here on the ears. I did forget about that. And the yellow on the face as well. I didn't talk about that. I apologize. Because that's things that are needed for details. And I like to make sure all the details are hit if possible. And this guy had a lot. And that gray really did drive very, very light. Or dark. So it dried very light. Oh, by the way, I also forgot, before we go, the sticker sheet. So... you see there's the big sticker for the shield, all the little bits there for the eyes, and the GN condensers, and you have all the gray bits that are all wrapped around. The only thing I didn't really do were these red parts. Now this goes over the butt skirt right here. I just didn't feel like doing that, and I don't know where these were going. I couldn't find them in the instructions. If I'm honest, I don't care. It's like, it's something extra that I didn't feel a necessity to do. So I'm not heartbroken over it. So let's take a break, come back for final thoughts. Okay, so before final thoughts, I just want to show this off. All I was trying to do was cross his arms to get him in position, and his hips completely came apart on me here. Um, I don't know what just happened there. There obviously something was putting undue pressure on it. Maybe I turned the torso too much, but that completely popped apart on me there. So that's fun, when you're moving the arms and the whole lower half falls off. Like I was digging it up until it did that number. But either way, so now we'll go on to the final thoughts after that. The R2 is a very cool kit. If you built the original or any other version of the Exia, it's a good comparison piece. I mean, like, I like the fact that it comes with upgraded weapons, all the new upgraded armor, all that stuff like that. And honestly, I'm saying this now, but I guarantee you they're going to do it now. I bet there will be a P Bandai expansion set for the PG that will give it all the R2 parts. I know they had the one for the R1. So, great. That'll probably happen in the future. That would be cool if they could find a way to light up the sword. I felt better about this one because I did do all the paint work. I had to clean up some of the paint things that I did, like this whole section on my shin. You can see it's a little bit rough. I did have to scrape it clean because I had a big old glob that I completely missed. It's like, yeah, I was in such a hurry. I made a big old paint glob and didn't even fix it. I give you an idea of how quickly I'm building these kits. Now, I did build several Exias back to back to back to make sure that I could get these reviews done the way I needed to, because I wanted to be able to compare them and be able to get the parts to Rodimus that were necessary. But guys, if you like this version of Exia over the other ones, let me know. If there's another version you prefer, hey, hit me up about that too. So, otherwise, give me a big old thumbs up, hit that subscribe button if you are new to the channel. Most people seem to find my channel by way of 00CTOBER now. So, by all means, if you're new, hit that subscribe button. And I will keep doing 00CTOBERs as long as I can, because there's still quite a lot of kits I've never built. I haven't even touched the RGs, and there's quite a few MGs, and now GNXs that I don't have. So, there's still hope for the future. And of course, we never know about those MGs that may or may not come out by the time that I, or might get announced by the time I finish doing this. But guys, if you want to get some 00CTOBER gear and help support the channel, by all means, link in the description down below. You can get any of the previous years or this year's, whichever. I like the new 00CTOBER 4 logo. I think it's awesome. I hope you do too. And of course, if you want to become a patroneer, check everything out like that, help support the channel. I will greatly appreciate it. And of course, I will catch you guys on the next review. And remember, as always, I am Gundam.